The drama in Genoa City is getting more intense than ever, and Thursday's episode of The Young and the Restless is about to shake the Newman family in a huge way. Everything starts after Nick Newman suddenly collapses again. But this time, things feel way more serious than before. Fans already remember what happened back at the Las Vegas warehouse, but this overdose situation looks even worse, and now everyone around him is terrified. The shocking moment happens inside Phyllis Summers' office. Nick wasn't alone there either. Victor Newman, Sharon Newman, Noah Newman, and even Sienna Bacall were all present during the confrontation involving Matt Clark. Tension was already high in the room, and emotions were running out of control. But then, something unexpected happens. While nobody notices, Nick secretly takes another pill. Only moments later, he suddenly collapses right in front of everyone. The entire room goes silent. Nobody expected things to go this far this fast. Victor Newman immediately realizes the situation is critical. And for once, it seems like revenge is no longer his biggest priority. Up until now, Victor has been completely focused on taking Matt Clark down. He blamed him for dragging Nick deeper into addiction and chaos. But after watching his son collapse again, Victor's mindset may finally change. At this point, nothing matters more than saving Nick's life. Thursday spoilers tease that Victor will make a shocking decision, and fans are already wondering what that decision could be. Some believe he may finally stop going after Matt, at least temporarily, so Nick can get proper medical treatment before it's too late. Others think Victor could do something even more surprising. He may actually allow Jack Abbott to help Nick recover. That possibility alone is huge. As longtime viewers know, Victor and Jack have spent years as rivals. Trust between them has never come easy. But recently, Jack offered to support Nick and even volunteered to become his sponsor if Nick wanted help dealing with his addiction. Now, with Nick's condition getting worse, Victor may realize he has no other choice. Meanwhile, Sharon is completely devastated after watching Nick collapse again. She has been trying to stay strong for the family, but deep down she's terrified that Nick may not survive this downward spiral if things continue the same way. Noah also struggles emotionally during the crisis. Watching his father suffer like this clearly affects him deeply, and fans may see more emotional scenes between father and son in the upcoming episodes. At the same time, Sienna Bacall finds herself caught in the middle of the chaos. Her presence during the overdose situation could create even more complications moving forward, especially if Victor starts blaming everyone around Nick for enabling his addiction problems. And honestly, the entire situation feels like a ticking time bomb. The Newman family has survived many crises before, but this one feels different. This time, it's not about business wars or family betrayals. This is about life and death. As Thursday's episode continues, viewers will see emotions explode from every direction. Fear, guilt, anger, and desperation are all starting to take over. And the biggest question remains the same. Can Nick Newman finally be saved before everything completely falls apart? While Nick Newman fights for his life, the emotional pressure inside the Newman family becomes almost impossible to handle. And in Thursday's episode, one person who completely starts falling apart emotionally is Nikki Newman. For Nikki, this situation hits differently. The moment she hears about Nick's overdose, guilt immediately takes over her mind. Deep down, she starts blaming herself for everything her son is going through right now. As longtime fans already know, Nikki has battled alcoholism for many years. She's experienced relapses, painful recovery moments, and endless struggles trying to keep her life under control. Even though she worked hard to rebuild herself, a part of her still fears that her past mistakes may have affected her children more than she realized. And now, after seeing Nick spiral deeper into addiction, those fears become stronger than ever. Thursday's spoilers reveal that Nikki becomes haunted by a disturbing dream. But honestly, it feels less like a dream and more like a nightmare created from her deepest fears. She starts imagining terrible outcomes for Nick. In her mind, she keeps replaying all the warning signs she may have ignored. Every conversation, every emotional moment, every time Nick tried to hide his pain, Nikki now wonders if she should have seen the truth sooner. The emotional weight becomes overwhelming. At one point, Nikki may even start believing that she failed as a mother. She questions whether her own struggles with addiction accidentally influenced Nick's behavior over the years. And that thought completely destroys her emotionally. Meanwhile, Victor is trying to stay focused on handling the crisis, but Nikki's emotional breakdown creates even more tension inside the family. Victor wants solutions immediately, while Nikki is drowning in fear and regret. Their reactions to Nick's overdose are very different, and that emotional clash could create serious problems between them moving forward. At the same time, Victoria Newman is also struggling to process everything happening around her family. The moment she learns about Nick's collapse, panic instantly sets in. Nick isn't just her brother, he's one of the few people in the family she has always trusted emotionally. That's exactly why Victoria decides to reach out to Jack Abbott for help. This becomes one of the most surprising developments in Thursday's episode because Victoria normally avoids relying on outsiders during Newman family crises. But now, the situation feels too serious to handle alone. Jack already offered support for Nick earlier, especially regarding addiction recovery. He understands what addiction can do to someone's life, and Victoria may believe Jack is one of the only people capable of helping Nick before things get even worse. But there's another reason Victoria contacts Jack. She knows Victor may never openly admit he needs help handling this situation. Victor always wants control over everything. But this crisis is quickly moving beyond his control, and Victoria realizes somebody needs to step in before the entire family completely collapses emotionally. As tensions continue rising, fans will likely see emotional conversations between Victoria and Jack about what should happen next. Should Nick enter treatment immediately? Should the family stop protecting him emotionally? Or is there still something bigger happening behind the scenes involving Matt Clark and the pills? Those questions are starting to grow more important with every passing moment. And honestly, the deeper this storyline goes, the more dangerous everything feels. Because now it's becoming clear that Nick's addiction crisis isn't only affecting him anymore. As the Newman family struggles to deal with Nick's overdose crisis, another major storyline begins developing quietly in the background, and this one could change several relationships forever. That storyline revolves around Matt Clark. Ever since Matt returned, chaos has followed him everywhere. Victor Newman has been determined to expose him and hold him responsible for everything happening to Nick. In Victor's eyes, Matt is dangerous, manipulative, and possibly one of the biggest reasons Nick's addiction spiraled out of control. But after Nick suddenly collapsed inside Phyllis Summers' office, the situation became far more complicated. For the first time, Matt may actually avoid Victor's wrath, at least temporarily. Normally, Victor would never back down from destroying someone he considers a threat to his family. But now, with Nick fighting for his health, Victor's priorities may finally shift completely. Instead of focusing on revenge, Victor now has to focus on survival. And honestly, that changes everything. During the confrontation inside Phyllis's office, emotions exploded from every direction. Nobody trusted anyone. Accusations were flying non-stop, and the tension between Victor and Matt was already reaching dangerous levels. Then Nick collapsed. That single moment instantly changed the atmosphere in the room. Suddenly, the anger disappeared and pure panic took over. Even Matt himself looked shaken by what happened. And that reaction may create confusion for several characters moving forward. Some people may begin wondering whether Matt is truly responsible for Nick's condition or if there's more happening behind the scenes that nobody fully understands yet. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers finds herself trapped right in the middle of the entire disaster. Phyllis has always had a talent for getting involved in complicated situations, but this time things feel much more serious. Since the overdose happened in her office, she may start facing questions from multiple sides. Victor could blame her for allowing Matt near Nick. Sharon may question whether Phyllis knew more than she admitted. And even Victoria might become suspicious about how everything unfolded so quickly. The pressure surrounding Phyllis is growing fast, and fans know she doesn't handle pressure quietly for very long. At the same time, Sharon Newman continues trying to stay emotionally strong, but internally she's reaching her breaking point. Watching Nick suffer over and over again is becoming unbearable for her. Their history together runs deep, and despite all the complications between them over the years, Sharon still cares about Nick deeply. That emotional connection is impossible to hide during moments like this. In Thursday's episode, viewers may see Sharon starting to fear the worst. She understands addiction better than most people realize, and she knows recovery only works when the person truly wants help. That's what scares her the most right now. Nick keeps falling backward. Every time the family thinks he's improving, another crisis suddenly appears. And now, after this latest overdose, Sharon may begin wondering whether Nick has completely lost control of his life. Meanwhile, Noah Newman also becomes more emotionally involved as the family crisis intensifies. Seeing his father vulnerable affects him deeply, especially because Nick has always tried to appear strong in front of his children. But now that image is collapsing. Noah may begin realizing that addiction can destroy even the strongest people if it's left untreated long enough. As Thursday's drama continues, emotions will keep exploding across Genoa City. Secrets, fear, blame, and emotional pain are slowly pushing everyone toward their limits. And unfortunately, it feels like the worst may still be coming. While the Newman family faces emotional chaos surrounding Nick's overdose, another storyline begins taking a more hopeful turn, and surprisingly, it involves Malcolm Winters. After days of fear and uncertainty, Thursday's spoilers reveal that Dr. Stephanie Simmons and Holden Novak finally received some good news regarding Malcolm's condition. And honestly, fans have been waiting for a positive update for a long time. Malcolm Winters has been battling aplastic anemia, a very serious medical condition that left everyone deeply worried about his future. His health crisis created emotional tension throughout Genoa City, especially among the Winters family and the people closest to him. But now, there may finally be a reason for hope. According to spoilers, Dr. Simmons and Holden receive encouraging medical results that suggest Malcolm's condition could be improving. The biggest question now is whether Cain Ashby's stem cell treatment is finally starting to work. If that's true, this could completely change the direction of Malcolm's recovery story. For Holden Novak, the update brings a huge sense of relief. He has been carrying enormous emotional stress while trying to stay positive through Malcolm's treatment process. Watching someone you care about struggle with a life-threatening illness is never easy, and Holden has clearly been feeling that pressure more and more in recent episodes. Now, for the first time in a while, he may finally feel like things are moving in the right direction. Meanwhile, Dr. Stephanie Simmons remains cautious but optimistic. As a doctor, she understands that recovery is never guaranteed, especially with a condition as dangerous as aplastic anemia. Even with good news, there are still risks ahead, and she knows Malcolm's journey is far from over. Still, this moment gives everyone a small emotional break from all the darkness surrounding Genoa City lately. Especially because almost every major storyline right now feels heavy and emotionally exhausting. Nick is battling addiction. Nikki is drowning in guilt. Victor is struggling to hold his family together. And Sharon fears the man she loves may be slipping away permanently. So hearing positive news about Malcolm feels like one of the few bright moments viewers have received in a while. At the same time, fans are starting to wonder whether Malcolm's recovery could eventually reconnect several broken relationships in the Winters family. Serious health scares often force people to rethink old arguments and emotional distance. Sometimes crises bring families closer together. And sometimes they expose painful truths people have been avoiding for years. That emotional possibility could become very important moving forward. Meanwhile, back in the Newman storyline, tension continues building behind the scenes. Even though Nick's overdose has shifted everyone's focus temporarily, the deeper issues surrounding Matt Clark haven't disappeared. In fact, they may be getting worse. Victor still believes Matt played a major role in Nick's downward spiral, and once Nick's immediate medical emergency is under control, Victor may come back even more aggressive than before. That means Matt's temporary escape from Victor's anger probably won't last forever. And if Victor discovers new information connecting Matt to Nick's addiction problems, things could become extremely dangerous very fast. As Thursday's episode moves forward, fans should prepare for emotional conversations, unexpected decisions, and dramatic twists that could reshape multiple storylines at once. Because in Genoa City, peace never lasts very long. And just when one crisis starts calming down, another explosion is usually right around the corner. As Thursday's episode of The Young and the Restless comes closer to its final moments, emotions across Genoa City reach an even more intense level. Every major character now finds themselves facing fear, uncertainty, and painful choices that could change everything moving forward. But at the center of it all remains one person, Nick Newman. After his terrifying overdose, the entire Newman family is being forced to confront a reality they can no longer ignore. Nick's addiction is no longer a private struggle hidden behind excuses and emotional protection. Now, it's a full family crisis. And everybody is feeling the impact. Victor Newman may appear strong on the outside, but internally he's losing patience with the situation. For years, Victor has always believed he could protect his family from anything through power, control, and influence. But addiction is different. This is one battle money and power cannot easily fix. And that truth may be hitting Victor harder than ever before. At the same time, Nikki continues emotionally spiraling as guilt takes over her thoughts completely. She keeps replaying memories from Nick's childhood, wondering if she somehow failed him without realizing it. Every mother wants to believe they protected their children the best they could. But now Nikki fears her own past addictions may have left emotional scars on Nick that never fully healed. That emotional burden is becoming unbearable for her. Meanwhile, Victoria Newman refuses to sit back and watch her family completely fall apart. Reaching out to Jack Abbott may end up becoming one of the smartest decisions she has made in a long time. Because unlike many people around Nick, Jack understands addiction from a more personal and emotional perspective. He knows recovery isn't only about stopping pills or alcohol. It's about rebuilding trust, stability, and emotional strength piece by piece. And right now, Nick desperately needs all of that. As for Sharon Newman, her heartbreak continues growing stronger with every passing hour. Watching someone you love destroy themselves slowly is one of the hardest experiences anyone can face. And Sharon now fears that Nick may be reaching the point where he completely loses himself. Still, she refuses to give up hope. Deep down, Sharon believes Nick can still recover if he finally accepts help before it's too late. But the biggest uncertainty may still involve Matt Clark. Even though Victor temporarily shifted focus away from revenge, the tension surrounding Matt hasn't disappeared at all. In fact, the situation feels even more dangerous now because emotions are running so high. If Victor eventually uncovers proof that Matt influenced Nick's addiction problems in any way, there's no telling how far Victor might go for revenge. And fans know one thing for sure: Victor Newman never forgives easily. Meanwhile, the hopeful update about Malcolm Winters gives viewers a rare emotional breath of relief amid all the darkness. His improving condition reminds everyone that even during painful times, hope can still exist. That balance between tragedy and hope is exactly what keeps Genoa City so unpredictable. One moment, families are falling apart. The next moment, unexpected miracles begin appearing. And Thursday's episode seems determined to deliver both emotions at the same time. By the end of the episode, fans will likely be left asking one major question. Can the Newman family truly save Nick before his addiction destroys everything around him completely? Or has the damage already gone too far to repair? One thing is certain: the drama inside Genoa City is only getting started, and the emotional fallout from Nick's overdose will continue affecting everyone long after Thursday's episode ends.